Welcome back, and in this lesson we are going to look on how to create the login method and then proceed from there. So far we have created the register method, and now we are going to create the login method. So the login method is going to be nearly similar to the register method. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this until here and just edit a couple of things here. So on the login, if you think of it, number one, we need to authenticate. We need to make sure that the user is actually exists in the database, all right, before we provide the before we provide the access token. So once I've copied that method here for the register, now we need to change a couple of things. So this will be login instead, and now we'll validate only the name and, or rather the email and the password. So I'll do this for now, just remove this unique users. So just have the email password like that. And then now we are not going to create a new user, but rather what we are going to do, we are going to find the user, the credentials that we need, from the request. And this will be, so I can see that from the request, I need to get the name, and the email. From there, I can just delete this. So here, the credential, I think I need to use the request method like this. And then now here, instead of saving the user, we are going to check auth, and I'm going to say attempt. That is if the user attempts to log in. And the data that I'm going to use is, of course, the credentials here. So I'll pass that in here, and I need to import this auth. And one of the cleaner way that I like to go through this is to check if the user is not authenticated, and then just return maybe an error, and this error will be something like you're not, maybe we can say error, can say you're not authorized, authenticated, something of that sort. And then now we return for one. If you remember, for one is used to check or to return status code for an authenticated user. And then now, if the user has been authenticated, that is, if we pass this if statement here, then what we can do is now just return the token and everything here. So we can just say, so I go down here, I'll build this guy here, and then I remove for now the return part. And then the token, now we need to get the user. So say we need to get the user, using the email. So I'll say where email is the request email like this, and then we need to get the first user, I think. First user like this, and then create token from there. So once we have the token, we get the token result, and now on the response here, we can see that the message can say login was successful. Then we can have the token itself here like this, which will be the token. And also what we can do now is that we can return the user. So we can say our user is what we can do here is that we can use this, we can separate this. So I can just cut this here, I can say the user should be equal to this user like this. Then now we can use our user here, And then down here, we can now use our user here. So now when everything is okay, we return the user, the token, the message. If it fails, we return user not authenticated, and then we are good to go. So let us test this and see what we'll have here. So I'll go here, I'll go to HTTP client, I'll go create HTTP, I'll go add a new post and delete the get. Say now we need the name, the email, or what we can do, let us just create a new user and try to log in. So API, I'll go to register. So I'll create this user. It should be confirmed. And then let us run this request to create the user. All right, the URL is not found, and that is because we need to say 8,000 here. Let's create this user. So our user is created here. Our user was registered successfully, and here we have the token. So let us try to log in with this user. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this and undo this, and then add a new request here. This is going to be post. Say here, I'm going to paste this, and we are going to use the email and the password. And this is going to go to 8,000, and API should be login, and I don't think I've added that method here, so I need to go here, duplicate this, say now we have the login, and the login will go to login now like this, and we are good with that. Let us go back here and see, and do this. Okay, you need to go here to do this, and let us try to log in now and see. I run this. So when I try to log in, I get 500, which means maybe there's an error in my code. So let me just go back to auth, and that is because, let me see, email password, and here I need to pass the email and the password. I was passing the name and the email. Let me see, I'm okay, yeah. Let's try again to run this and see. So run this again. Let us try and run and see. So now the user has been successfully logged in, and here we get the message which is login was successful, user, and this is the user. And remember, I've taught you how to use the API resource. So inside here we can say that this user here, we can return new, say user resource like this, and then we can just pass. So that is it. And then now let us go back and send a request here again. Yeah, and now we have the test, the ID, we have the name, the ID, the email, and the products, of course, do not exist. And then we have the token that will be used to validate the API down here. So that is how, guys, you create your login method. So in the next lesson, we are going to see how to log out. And lastly, in our last lesson, we are going to see now how to use this API token to validate our APIs.